Hello, everybody. I am Dr. Sandra Carrillo. I am a physician. I am a professor of the Faculty of Medicine, University of Panama, in charge of the scientific program of medical cannabis. And I am the president of the Colombia Medical Association of Cannabinoid Medicine and co-founder of Medicann IPS Medical Cannabis Clinics. I am very excited to be here today leading this amazing panel with these amazing speakers that we've been having all these days. We are going to be talking today and discussing about research and development for medical purposes. This is a subject that is very, very important for all of us and in the industry and for doctors, for scientists, for all the stakeholders. I have the pleasure to have in this panel my good friend, Dr. Mark Braunstein. He's a medical doctor. He is a founder of Reconcious Medical. He is a psychiatrist. I would like, Mark, if you can introduce yourself and talk to us about you, what you're doing, please.
Absolutely. My name is Dr. Mark Braunstein. I've been a psychiatrist for over 20 years. I've been practicing cannabis. I have refined my practice to now not using prescription drugs, but only using cannabis and other plant medicines. I use cannabis in a couple different ways. One is for symptom relief with specific dosing. And then the other way is using cannabis in conjunction with psychotherapy to create healing for conditions such as PTSD. Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you so much. I also have the pleasure to have with us Inbar Paz Benayoun. She is a founder and CEO of CANNELLA, Epilepsy Targeted Cannabis. I had the pleasure to meet Inbar in Panama. So, CANNELLA, Inbar, can you please tell us a little bit more about you and what you're doing? Do you hear me?
She's muted.
Oh, okay.
Can we unmute her?
Now you can hear, you can talk now, Inbar. Okay, what I'm going to do is I will present our next panelist. I'm very pleased to present Yosi Sherman. He is a medical cannabis security expert. I had the pleasure to see today your exposition, very impressive. Yosi, if you can tell us a little bit more about what you do.
Thank you, my pleasure. First, it's my pleasure and I'm excited to be with you. I had wonderful things today. I'm a founder and a CEO of Pharma Security, which is a security company that deals with all the aspects of security in the pharma and specializing in cannabis. Specializing, I mean that security goes along with logistics. And if we are dealing in this panel in R&D aspects, we are doing a lot of, we're putting a lot of effort in securing this valuable data with cybersecurity and with information security, along with the usual physical security, to give a whole solution for the companies, for the investors to keep their property safe. That's what we do.
Thank you so much. Inbar, are you ready?
Yes, I am. I'm sorry for the delay. So my name is Inbar Paz Benayoun. I used to be a lawyer in the corporate world, in the capital market and securities law. Then I represented the first publicly traded company in cannabis here in Israel, and luckily started to work there for a few months until I decided to open a venue of my own and found the right partners for it. So now I'm one of the co-founders of CANNELLA, Epilepsy Targeted Cannabis, and we develop products that are suitable for epilepsy patients, included for young children that has no supply in the market right now for them. So we make these products, and if you heard my speech earlier today, or if you want more information later, I can show you our products and recent developments.
Great, thank you. I also would like to present Dr. Ekapol, is one of the speakers from Rangsit University of Thailand. Very honored to have you in this panel, Dr. Ekapol. Would you tell us a little bit of what you are doing?
Hello, everyone. It's my great pleasure to join this conversation. As the introduction, I am a pharmacist practitioner from Rangsit University. Right now, we are working on the cannabis product development, and we are also doing the research on the cancer too. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Well, I feel very, very privileged and honored to be part of this amazing panel, because we have in here all the circle of what matters a lot for the industry and for the medical cannabis. And since we are talking about R&D, I would like to ask you, and this is a general question, and I would like each one of you to answer. What would be the future that you see in your area in research and development, or what type of plans do you have in particular, each one of you, regarding to the subject of research or development for present and for the future? We could start with Dr. Mark Braunstein.
I think what we need is standardization of dosing. I think, as we were talking earlier about in Colombia, only using oral forms. In America, we have inhaled, we have oral, we have topical, we have rectal, so many different forms. But it would be nice if we could standardize it so that doctors everywhere could be using the same forms. So when I think about oral delivery, I'd love to see improvements in delivery vehicles as far as increasing the onset and making things shorter duration, specifically designing products that can be used with psychotherapy. And when we think about how do we exactly standardize that dosing. So I'd like to see R&D in terms of standardization of dosing and new more user-friendly forms.
That's great. Yes, I couldn't agree more with you. As I was telling earlier, I live between Colombia and Panama, and in Colombia we do have some formulations, magistral formulations, but still we need to have access to more variety of products and more chemovars. And I do think that through standardization is that we can create better research, because if we are giving products to the patients, even when you're conducting research, it's very hard to obtain good results when you don't have standardized products. So I think that would be also my dream and number one thing. And also I do share with you that we will need to also develop different delivery methods. I saw earlier a lecture of one of the doctors, a Thai doctor, talking about different delivery methods for increasing the bioavailability. So a lot of very interesting things are happening right now. I would like to hear what you have to say, Inbar.
Actually, this is one of the things we're very proud of, because we're working with a children's hospital here in Israel, since young children can suffer from epilepsy as well. And in their case, it's very, very, the risk is much higher. So when we speak about dosage and the way of taking the medicine, it is critical. So we have developed, of course, with our scientific team, new ways basically to give the right dosage for children in the way of sprinkles. In that way, you can put it in the food. And this is, of course, the development of our very esteemed professors in our team. You can put it in the food, and then you can measure exactly how much did they take. We're about to start a clinical trial soon in that hospital, and we are going to examine this on children that cannot tolerate conventional medication for epilepsy. So this way, with the sprinkles, you don't have the smell or the taste of cannabis, which makes it a lot easier and also a lot measurable. So this is something we take very proud of. As we have, of course, the oil, etc. But I couldn't agree more that we need to see how to give the clients better access for the products, to see what are the difficulties right now of consuming cannabis and to adjust it in the manner that is much suitable.
That is amazing. I have seen, and I had the opportunity to travel to Israel many times, and I admire Israelis because you are pioneers in the medical cannabis research, and this is great because this is what we need right now. Development of different type of administration, because in children's sometimes you face exactly what you say, the taste, they don't like to take it. So those challenges is very important what you're doing. Thank you so much, Inbar. I would like now to hear what Yosi has to say. I know he is deeply involved in the security, so I would like to know what is your view regarding of this.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It was very interesting, Inbar and Mark, what you said. You emphasize on the medical side, and we have a lot of customers, and I want to contribute two things. One about security, which I'll do least, and first I want to share with you what I know about the R&D future from my aspect as giving service of security to different and variety of customers. So and I'm also from Israel, and we are very innovative in the security measures, but I'll talk about it later. I see three different major subjects in the R&D of cannabis. One is the one that you mentioned, the medical, all the different kinds of research that we are involved in cancer, in leukemia. We have a very big progress with this in Israel, and I can connect you with the people who are doing this research, which is amazing. The other one is the seeds. A lot of R&D is being implemented in the seeds. How to produce the right seeds for the right purpose. We're talking about the ability to produce seeds that with a certain amount of THC and CBD in advance. Just for an example, just imagine that you grow it in advance in the precise prescriptions that you want to this disease or this need, okay? Actually, there's four. The third one is about agriculture. And I'll give you an example. All what you know about the farms that grow the cannabis, they're doing between 3 and 4 herbs per year. But we can do much more. We can do it in smaller areas. One of the top research makes you the availability to grow 700 plants in one container. 700 plants in one container, which is amazing. Just imagine that you can do it everywhere. Just imagine about the temperature and the weather that you can keep, the lights and all around it. And this is what I see as forecasting for the R&D directions. Okay, about the security in R&D mostly is involved in the data. The information is very, very sensitive. People want to keep their intellectual property, and you have to do it by analyzing all the physical security, the computer, the cyber security, and also the human resources to do background checks about whatever person you hire. You have to be sure that he is working for you and not for another one by side. And I have a lot of very bad examples that people steal whatever other people achieved in their research, and you have to prevent it, and that's what we are doing. Thank you
so much. I would like to present to Mr. Sung Seok Kang from South Korea. Welcome. We would like to know more about what you do, Mr. Sung, and if you can answer also the question about what are your expectations or your plans for R&D in medical cannabis.
Oh yeah. Hello. My name is Pastor Seok Kang, the representative of Korea Medical Cannabis Organization. Around 2050, I suffered a major injury. The caused my back is to rupture. In the intensive care unit, I saw the many pain patients addicted to narcotic medicine called opioid and benzodiazepine. They suffer the more damage from pain medicine than pain. But so many the researcher and doctor, pharmacists and government government is the compared to opioid and benzodiazepine. Cannabis was on there was a very rare report, and that is a problem. Normal people, citizen is want to the more material. As a patient, as a pastor, as a educator. Yes, I am a pastor. I am not a doctor. I am not a scientist. I am not a researcher. Yeah, there is very we must fight the medical material to educate the why so many patients need to the medical cannabis. That is the very important thing. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think this is very inspiring to see how you want to help the patients to have access to the treatments and to promote education and science. This is and it's very, very incredible how Korea now has a a medical cannabis organization. That these are efforts that I know as an advocate all over the world we have to keep doing, because we need the medical cannabis to be legalized all over the world, because we are all humans, we are all suffering. So I think it's about time and about human rights. The patients can have access to medicine. So I do see a very big trend.
Yeah.
Legalizing medical cannabis all over the world, and I am very excited, and you all should be very proud to be part of this change and of this movement that is towards science and helping others. So I would like to hear what Ekapol has to say about R&D. Thank you.
Okay. Because I am working in the Rangsit University, which is the private university in Thailand. And we experience in many dosage form of the research and development. We can do the, actually we can do the standardization of the extract. We can do the development of the dosage form. The dosage form may be in the form of the liquid form, or in the solid form for the injection, because there are many researchers in our institute in the Rangsit University. Actually, we are ready for the preparation for prepare for the clinical trial, but the limitation of the Thailand is about the law. The law would like only the government agency to do everything. And it is very difficult for the private university to do that. So we have to do the collaboration with the government agency before we can do other things for the people. We can do only little thing, but for the efficiency of us, we can actually I believe that we can do more. In the very near future, we are going to do the collaboration with some of the government units, and we would like to do the clinical trial of our preparation that we already developed. One of the dosage form that we are going to do is the oral mucosal spray, and we would like to do the clinical trial in the palliative care patient. But the step of the research is very difficult. We take at least 1 year before we can do only one project. So we have to wait and wait and wait. Thank you.
Yes, you know, I think this is we face the same challenges all over the world. I acknowledge that the regulators and the governments are doing the best because this is something that they feel is new, since it's not new, because this is millenary medicine, even 2,000 years before Christ has been used in medical cannabis. But I acknowledge the efforts of governments, but it takes time and it's very slow. But as I said, I feel very optimistic because I see governments, universities, regulators, doctors, scientists moving fast, trying to create new technologies, discover new treatments, all in benefits of humanity, that is the patient, that at the end, this is the ultimate goal of medical cannabis, improve quality of life of patients and help those that are suffering. So I think this is very important. We have just 12 minutes last. I am going to just have a very short question, and I would like each of you to answer in the shortest manner. I wish I could have more time to talk because this is very exciting. I would like to say, what would each one of you will say that is the biggest barrier they're facing for R&D in your countries? And if you happen to have a solution for that, I would love to hear it. So we can start in order again with Dr. Mark Braunstein.
The biggest limiting factor in my country is the lack of federal regulation and acceptance of medical cannabis. So in the United States, until the federal government legalizes it, we can't have the FDA involved in research. without the FDA involved, it decreases the number of people that can work on this and the dollars that can be put into this. So hopefully in the near future, we will have federal legalization, and that will really rapidly accelerate R&D in the States.
Thank you, Mark. And Inbar, what do you think?
First of all, Mark, I am sharing your hopes that legalization will arrive soon in the federal level. I mean, that's kind of crazy. It didn't happen yet. To your question, Sandra, the barrier here in Israel is the fact that the government is not very stable. So every law you want to pass is changing rapidly. And I believe that Yosi, my colleague, can probably explain more about that, but I experienced that as a co-founder of a company, that every time I'm trying to communicate with the Ministry of Health, the department that are responsible for cannabis, I have different answers because nobody knows. The right hand doesn't know what the left hand does. So my solution, yeah, you all share this. I see you nodding your head. This is a global epidemic. But my solution, my 2 cents of trying to make it work is like with other things that are not my specialty. I assign one person to do this job for me. I mean, someone who used to work for the Ministry of Health, for the Department of Cannabis, and now I hire this person to work for CANNELLA, and his job is absolutely to be the one that set us with our request to the government. So trying and to do this outsourcing is probably the best solution. It's not the ideal, right? But it's probably the best solution I can offer for my shareholders and investors.
Thank you so much. I would like to hear what Reverend Seok has to say.
Oh yeah. In next month, November. In November, the UN Drug Commission put the on rescheduling to convention. Yeah. The single convention on narcotic drugs and convention on psychotropic substance and UN cannabis rescheduling. But the even if the schedule is revising in the UN, it will take a little more time because the each the country country over each law of each country is must changed, and it's the why. So but in Thailand case and Japan case is the Thailand and Japan accepts the WHO recommendation the post, but in Korea government is the waiting the UN rescheduling. Before the market say US federal government is the same situation. Yeah, US federal is schedule 1, and same as the Korean government is the schedule 1, but UN cannabis scheduling is the effect to the every country, but is the every law of the cannabis is the each of the National Assembly must the revising. That is the yes on KMCO waiting the December the UN cannabis rescheduling.
Thank you so much. We have just 3 minutes more. I would like to hear what Yosi has to say, and then we will finish with Ekapol, please.
Okay, I'll say it briefly because you didn't let me a lot of time. I'll tell you my approach shortly. Of course, legalization is obvious. Everybody wants it and everything, but you have to do something in between. So what we are doing is we are advising I'll start from another way. The government wants to establish rules that will open the market. Okay, they want to go advanced, but they don't know. Usually, they have problems to know what to do, how to do it with a GMP, with a GAP, and with the GSPs that we are. So they are supporting some governments in implementing regulations and logistics to maneuver in the way to overcome these boundaries and to let the market grow. But especially in the area of R&D, if we talk about Israel, R&D needs money. We have a lot of good products. You've been in Israel, you saw around. I mentioned growing 700 plants in one container. I mentioned cancer that attacks a certain kind of leukemia, which is approved already. But we need more money to go on with this research and to put it in the market. I'm sure that sooner or later, the R&D or the or other government will adapt these medicines because they're helping. They're going to help. Either it's for Alzheimer or all other different aspects. But the security follows all of them. And please remember to keep your secrets safe. And that's what we are trying to do, to make the R&D not only progress, but be safe. Be safe for the shareholders. They invest a lot of money and then they can lose it for a moment of leak of information. Just think about it. And then everything is gone, okay? So think about it. We are advising either companies and advising also governments for regulations, logistics, and R&D products. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Ekapol?
Okay, I think that every countries have similar problems, and how to solve the problem for the Rangsit University or in Thailand, we try to do the same as Inbar, that we try to have the great connection with the Ministry of Public Health and for the everyone in the government. But somebody in the government afraid of the cannabis because they think that it is a narcotics only. They don't think that it is the good drug for the patient. So more than we try to keep the connection, we try to do the public relation, and we tell the people about the good or about the advantage of the cannabis, and we are going to do the research and try to announce our great results. And we hope that we will get the good response from the people, and it will have the impact into the government too. Thank you so much.
Thank you. This is such an incredible conversation and the privilege to have scientists and professionals from different countries and from different continents. Asia, we have States, we have Israel, we have Latin America. This is very important because they show us that we are not alone in the matter that sometimes I feel in Latin America, oh my God, this is the government, is the regulations, what's happening. But then you hear in Israel that I know that Israel, they're very advanced. They have many years studying. They're pioneers, they're smart scientists, and they're facing exactly the same. And I hear, Mark, in the States, there is one of the most
Yeah, okay, it is different. Okay.